Hi everyone, welcome to another shorter video. I think it's a real good way to learn about notes by comparing different fragrances kind of within the same category and trying to find, the notes they have in common or don't have in common, and that way kind of learn what you like and what you don't like. And I really find that every time I do like comparisons, I notice things that I hadn't noticed before. Like I tried all these ambers today, and I did also not so long ago. I did kind of a similar comparison. I didn't have the exact same fragrances in here, but that time I think I had Tolu in there and I had Amber Leavable in there. I didn't have that in today's comparison, but they're actually quite different, these different ambers. And I noticed one thing, I'll tell you. This one, Chypre Palatin, it's considered like a fruity Chypre, but it definitely has amber notes, and I consider it basically an amber with kind of Chypre aldehydic qualities. It has like a soapiness to it as well. It's really different from the others actually on this list. And this one is just this Rosendo Mateu number 7 has oud in it, and not many of the ones that I compared had oud, but this one and Velvet Amber Sun by Carolina Herrera just have a little bit. It has the same color juice like this. It's actually a good standard. I think this reminds a little bit of Amber Sultan. It's like a resinous, classic standard amber. Everyone should have one in their collection. I mean, that one is really, really good. And I also really like the material from Amouage. That has oud in it as well. And then I have L'eau d'Ambre Extreme from L'Artisan, which is more floral. I find this more floral. I've actually sprayed them on blotters, something I don't typically do. I usually use my skin too much, but I just kind of wanted to find like the differences between them, not really rank them or anything. But what I wanted to come to, what I thought was really interesting, was that I will no longer wear this particular one, and it is Amber Cello. And when I just rated this by itself, I had written that it was kind of an easy wear, like a lightweight amber, kind of airy, which is really strange because now, like next to all these other ambers, this blotter smells like sugar, and it's really, really bad. It smells designery. It smells, where do I have it here? I don't have a very good system for this. Yeah, I've written like sugar. I mean, the notes of Amber Cello, this comes from the house of L'Orchestre Parfums. I'm not sure who created it. I like Piano Santal from this house too. I mean, it's not a bad house. It's just, and that they also had this Electro Limonade that had this incredible opening that kind of dies down to nothing. So I don't know about this house. It's kind of a medium-priced house. Like, it's definitely not cheap, but I'd say it's maybe $150, $160, $170 for 100 ml, and they only come in 100 ml. That is kind of a problem. But this one has bergamot, benzoin, myrrh, tonka, and vanilla. And it's just really, really sweet. I don't know if it's the benzoin that's the problem. It just smells like, designer. It smells like when you go into the airport to the tax-free shop and there's been too much spraying going on in there and it's really like cloying. I'm putting I'm not wearing this again. Not again for me. But I wanted to talk about my scent of the day, first of all. I just came from the archipelago. I went to my parents' country house. I was driving home. It's kind of an overcast day. It was raining, and I thought an amber would be a good idea. So I didn't have so many things with me. So I decided to wear something that I haven't worn in ages, and it's called Escapade à Byzance, and it's from the house of Olibere. This is a house with, I think they have like 14 fragrances in their collection. This was created by master perfumer Bertrand Dechaufour. And I thought I didn't like this. I thought I kind of written it off as kind of being kind of like I think Amber Cello is now, like it's too sweet and it's too caramelly or something like that. But I've really enjoyed it today. And when I drove back, I was like going up and down my arms. I really enjoyed it. It's like a really nice, sweet but not too sweet, resinous amber. Really, really like it actually. And this is actually I'm using the word actually a lot, but this is actually quite, there I said it again, a reasonably priced house. So you might want to check it out because I think I haven't tried anything else from the line, so I can't recommend the house because I haven't tried anything else. But this particular fragrance is a pretty darn good amber on an overcast day, like when it's raining. I really liked it, really liked it. So I'm enjoying that, and I'm not going to get rid of it like I thought I would. But then I got really curious. I was kind of going through I was looking for material because I wanted to get out. I absolutely see material as like an amber, or amber, you could call them Middle Eastern style fragrances, perhaps. And then I found Purpose from Amouage that I have not really reviewed properly or worn for that matter. And I just have had it on my hand here for maybe like 45 minutes. And this fragrance is definitely on the masculine side. And I can already now tell you I would not buy a bottle of this. It's kind of really heavy on it's very beachy, Quentin beachy. It's Akigala wood. It's vetiver. It's I'm gonna see. I took some notes on this one, and I was getting a lot of it's very leathery. And it doesn't have like the note of leather, but it has suede and it has saffron. And I think saffron is often used to create kind of a leathery accord. Let's see. Papyrus also has kind of a leathery undertone. So it has papyrus, and it has something called mystical, which is kind of that is also actually used in Blanche Bette that I really would like to buy. I was surprised to see that, but I think I saw someone describing it as something aldehydic, but I don't know this note of mystical. Maybe you know more about it. And then, but it's a minerally frankincense fragrance, and it has sandalwood, it has vetiver, it has a lot of like masculine style notes, I would say. And I can kind of like, I think I'm getting what the Akigala is all about because it's also in guidance, and I know guidance pretty well by now. It has some vetiver. I get definitely some freshness in here, which could be coming from the pepper maybe. It also has bergamot and pimento in the top. I don't know. It's just, it's really modern. And I saw someone wrote, I've been following this guy named Igor. Let's see, what's his name? Igor, wrote down his name, Masyukov. He writes articles on Fragrantica, and he said something like, Purpose takes the brand's aesthetic and modernizes it. And I think definitely this Akigala is really modern, especially combined with saffron. And this gets compared to Ganymede, but this is so much better. I like this much better, especially the dry down. I think the opening a little harsh. And I think this is the kind of fragrance that'll last like forever. I've actually washed my hands already because it was so strong I couldn't wear it. But it's still there anyway, even though I've really washed my hands. I don't know. Then someone wrote this. Listen to this. Biche seems to be making, he didn't say these exact words, but something like this. He seems to be making flankers of the same perfume. Same DNA, only different bottle. So if you are fans of Quentin Biche, you might get an idea about what this smells like. And he wrote like this: if I get yet another Biche mineral Akigala wood mess, always with that note that reminds of the dentist's office, I'll flip. I don't know. He doesn't buy this very much. I don't know who wrote this. If I can't remember, I think it was someone, some reviewer, like just kind of like a fragrance nerd. I don't think it was in an article. I'm not sure. I can't remember actually, but. For those of you who are familiar with his work and have a little hard time with his Akigala stuff and don't like Ganymede, maybe beware of this. Like maybe not get it. But I get some leatheriness, some suede, some saffron for sure. It's masculine. I would call it a little bit of a challenging fragrance. It's like, but it's kind of fresh. It's masculine. I mean, I would like it, I think, on a guy. It's not bad. I don't know. It's not for me. I don't think I'd wear it, but Purpose. It's in the new collection from Amouage called Escape. And it comes in the masculine bottle, but they've dropped this thing with the woman and man, marketed fragrances. But this is definitely for sure for the men, something modern for the men, guidance, and something modern for the women. I think that's the way they've tried to market that. Another amber that I tried today was Click Song from Une Nuit Nomade. This is kind of a cheap fragrance, and this has a rollerball, which I really don't like, but this one I found, when I tried it by itself, I was like, oh, it's an amber. I couldn't really place it. But when I compared it with all these ambers, this is rosy. It's very rosy. And I think in this one, I can actually take the rose. Maybe I'll just put a little bit on my skin right now. It's so easy just to, yeah, I have to wait a bit. But it definitely has rosy qualities. It also has geranium, which also has a rosy quality to it. I mean, you know, the rollerball thing is actually quite practical. I find that, like, if I'm on a bus or something and I want to kind of sneak on something, then it's like, it's so easy just to kind of, you know, the Parfumum Roma, if you buy a 100 ml bottle there, you get this little rollerball thing that you can kind of keep refilling if you like. And I do that actually with my Parfumum Romas. Yeah, this is actually really rosy, but this is a really nice, affordable amber fragrance. I haven't written down the notes, but this is kind of like my first acquaintance with this. I haven't given it a full wearing yet. I just swapped that for something. Yeah, she got Vanagloria from me because I couldn't wear Vanagloria. I didn't like it. It's too much. It was too saffrony or something. Then I think I prefer Purpose. But Vanagloria is that fragrance that gets compared to Baby Cat by YSL, if you're familiar with that one. Let's see. This amber I talked about the other day. I'm kind of more and more getting acquainted with l'Ambre de Carthage. And these are the notes. I love that when you get a tester bottle that have the notes on the bottle. And even though they might not be 100% accurate, this maybe is more accurate actually than the ones on Fragrantica since they came from the house, right? And this one has that osmanthus note that I'm still struggling with a little bit, but it also has birch tar, or birch it says. Maybe it's birch wood, not sure. But it has some interesting things here that I'm kind of like getting to know. And it has a tea note in there. I mean, I like this fragrance, I'll have to say, but maybe it's a tad masculine for me. It's definitely different from the other ambers here on this list, or this list, not really a list. It's mostly that I'm sharing my little findings here from this comparison. It's different. It's more masculine leaning for sure. And it's a little bit more fruity. And I think it might be, it's nothing like Chypre Palatin. That one's described as fruity, but this one has more peach and citruses maybe. And this one has, it's the osmanthus there that I find fruity. You know, it has more of this apricot kind of thing. But maybe peach, you would think that would be pretty close, right? Apricots and peaches. I don't know. They're different. And then I also included my, one of my favorite fragrances, actually, Le Lion from Chanel. This is a beautiful, like, labdanum, heavy amber fragrance with a real smokiness to it. It smells kind of like boat-ish. It's so smoky, but in a really nice way, especially when it dries down. Because then the vanilla component of it kind of softens that smokiness. But this has birch tar. I mean, it's not listed, but I'm sure it has birch tar. It also has some really nice citrus in the top. This one definitely has a resemblance to Shalimar. Now that I know Shalimar a little bit better, I can kind of put the two together for sure. I wish I hadn't split it this much. I only have this left. And I mean, it's a heavy fragrance and this will last me a long time, but I should have just kept it the whole thing because it's only a 75 ml. And I think that I should have, I shouldn't have bought the bigger bottle, but I should not have sold decants. I've sold decants of this. I thought this would kind of last me so long because it took a while for me to get through I went through 2 samples before buying this, and I really, really love it. Then finally, I think I'm kind of through the ambers. Oh, there's one more I'd like to mention is Ambra Calabria from Nishane, which is really salty. It's kind of a sweet and salty amber with some greenness to it. It has some resemblance with Dajala from Xerjoff that I have a full bottle of. I don't think I'll be getting this. It's too salty. I think that ambergris is a little bit too amped up in here. It's a weird, it's a little like sparkly, and I'm not sure about this one. I don't love it. I don't love it. Some days I love it, some days I don't, put it that way. And then of course I put in LDDDM, L'air du désert Marocain. And it's really nice and spicy. I don't think this would be my favorite pick. I prefer material. I mean, material from Amouage I could definitely consider buying a full bottle of. It's so good. I love wearing this. I only have that little, it's more of a vanilla fragrance maybe. And Velvet Amber Sun. it's just really hard to get a hold of, and they're kind of overpriced. I think Carolina Herrera's exclusive line, and I don't know where I would get a bottle. I'd have to like find someone that's going abroad, or maybe I could order it online, but I bet it'd be $350. I'm just guessing $300. It's just not worth it. I have such good stuff here to wear, so I don't really need another Amber anyhow. I mean, I enjoy wearing all of these. I love this one. I love Chypre Palatin. I love Le Lion. I have material left, and I also have, I don't know if I showed you this one, Rosendo Mateu number 7, which is a little bit more of a patch fragrance, I guess, but also really, really nice in the winter. And I just wanted to give you a small update on this Cartier fragrance, Cartier fragrance that I started trying a couple weeks ago after my perfume meetup. That's called Le Baiser du Dragon, the Dragon's Kiss. Speaking of funny pronunciations, though, I was kind of looking about what other people had said about this fragrance, and I saw everything from like Le Baiser du Dragon to Baiser, less Baiser, etc. So there was so many pronunciations. I have a hard time with the French R's, but like le baiser, the kiss of the dragon, de dragon, I mean, it's spelled dragon, dragon. I have a hard time saying that. It just kind of sometimes just gets caught in my throat. But that fragrance, the first time I tried it, I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is a nice heliotrope style, almondy, kind of feminine fragrance, is what I thought the first time. Second time, I was getting a completely different picture. You know, I was like, this is like a vetiver heavy, slightly nutty, earthy fragrance, where I'm like picking up on completely different, oh, and patchouli. So now I kind of like, was this maybe similar to patchouli noisette from Les Indemodables? I can't remember. I did try that fragrance up at my little perfume trip a few weeks ago. Let's see if I took some notes on this one. I did a while back, I think. But I was surprised to see that like this liqueur almond vibe, it almost kind of went a little bit gourmand, but in kind of a heliotrope kind of way. And now I was getting much more of that vetiver, maybe because I've, gotten more acquainted with vetiver, like I can pick it up more. But I was getting a completely different experience from this fragrance. And then I wore it again, like a third time, and still I was getting more of the like patchouli vetiver style earthiness, and not so much like the sweet almond component of it. So I wish I had a bigger decant. I feel like I want to wear it like 3-4 more times just to see what it's all about. But it's funny that it kind of went from feminine to masculine in my like little, not that I care so much, but it is a marketed to women fragrance. And I think it has kind of a big fan base. A lot of people talk positively about this fragrance, and it comes in a really nice bottle where the actual, like the straw going down to suck up the juice is kind of like shaped like that, and it's black, and it's kind of part of the design rather than just something that they're trying to hide. I mean, and I'm not sure if it's discontinued. I think it's not discontinued, but you have to go to their website to get it, or maybe to one of their stores. It's not easy to get a hold of, if it's even, still on the market. I'm not sure. Does any of it, maybe you and one of you guys might know. Please let me know. I find this fragrance intriguing because it's given me, I love that about a fragrance. You get like a different experience, like the first wearing, the second wearing, and so forth. And then like I start maybe comparing it with something, and then something else will pop out. I love all this about fragrance. It's so much fun. Anyway, so what are your ideas about, do you have any good ambers to recommend? How many ambers does a person need in their collection? I find that a lot of these, like if I'm sniffing all these little, these papers that I've sniffed, a lot of them are quite similar. But Escapade à Byzance is pretty darn good. But the Amber Cello is horrible. I've just written sugar there on my note. It's so bad. It's like, it's so sweet in the completely wrong way. I'm surprised that I even like this. I've only worn it like once. I haven't really, sometimes I see these coming up, these little vials that come from Sniff with PH at the end. We have a little, it's called Sniff Market. I mean, anyone can go in there from, but I think it's for Swedes, basically. There's a lot of swapping going on between these, and I usually have something to swap, or I'll pay like something, very little money for it. So that's why I got it. I never pay full price for those. And the Ambre de Carthage is definitely a little bit different. The Andy Tower is a little bit more dry and spicy, a little bit heavier on the cumin. The Amber Calabria is a little bit citrusy and salty and sweet at the same time and green at the same time. I don't know. There's something about that fragrance that doesn't quite do it for me. I don't know. These are all kind of, in the dry down are kind of very similar, I'll have to say. You know, I believe that you should not have too many amber fragrances, because if you do, several of them will just stay there, you know, sit there in your cupboard and collect dust, because you'll find that you have favorites and you won't wear the rest. Because these are fragrances that you only need like maybe four sprays. I mean, of Le Lion, definitely 4 sprays. And then I put this on like an hour before I leave the house if I wear 4 sprays, because that's quite heavy. But this is definitely for me like a going out fragrance. I love going out in this, or Chypre Palatin is great. I've gotten compliments for both of these. This is maybe a little bit on the masculine side, but if I'm in the mood, I'm wearing a leather jacket, I feel like I'm kind of in that mood. Not that I go out very often. I usually go dancing, and I don't wear this when I dance. It's too, I think it's a little too heavy. If I would wear an amber out dancing, it would probably be this one. L'Eau d'Ambre Extrême from L'Artisan, I think, or maybe Material, something that's a little bit more vanillic and people-pleasing, I think I would wear. But this one, Scent of the Day, Escapade à Byzance, would totally work for like a people-pleasing kind of situation. But these heavier ones, no, I don't think I would. Okay, that was all for today, guys. See you in the next video.